Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Criterion Connection. I'm Wade.
And I'm Joe.
And we're here to do a new release on the Criterion Collection. That's actually 3 movies that have been released, but we're only doing the first one right now. John Singleton's Hood Trilogy just came out on Blu-ray and DVD on Criterion Collection. So we are doing Boyz in the Hood, a movie I thought we did, but I was thinking Menace to Society. Fun fact, I have never seen this film. I know parts of it. I know Ricky! I know that.
Yeah.
I know Ice Cube is in it.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure he just left NWA at this point.
He was young.
Yeah, I think he just left NWA.
Really young.
He was branching off into his own thing. And it stars Cuba Gooding Jr. as Trey.
Mm-hmm.
It stars Ice Cube as Doughboy.
Mm-hmm.
It stars Morris
Chestnut
as oh god, was it Ricky?
Ricky.
Ricky. And of course, Larry Fishburne is playing Furious Styles.
Yeah, Furious.
And also you have Regina King's in it. And
Angela Bassett.
Angela Bassett's in it.
Yeah.
As someone who has never seen this movie, but I know it through cultural osmosis.
Yeah.
I'm just going to lay the cards on the table. Great freaking movie.
It's incredible. Yeah.
Great. The fact that John Singleton is 23 making this movie.
And
the fact that Larry Fishburne is only 6 years older than Cuba Gooding Jr. in the movie, which I've never seen this movie, but I've seen Don't Be a Menace.
Yeah.
And the joke of like the father is younger than I guess I just didn't get the joke until I watched Boyz n Hood. There was a great Letterboxd review saying like the Hood has stressed Cuba Gooding so bad he's aged 30 years in 7.
Yeah.
So we start the movie. It's basically the first 30 minutes is like young Trey.
Mm-hmm.
And they do a little thing like a callback to like Stand By Me.
Yeah.
Where in the beginning they show like they're gonna show the dead body.
It's off the train tracks.
But it isn't like oh, do you want like Stand By Me is like taboo. You want to see a dead body? This one's just like, no, there's a dead body. You want to see it?
Yeah, it's such a like powerful like cultural touchstone film. It has such an impact. And yeah, it does have that Stand By Me kind of reference. The boys are walking down the tracks and they go, "You want to see a dead body?" And it's right off. It's
nonchalant,
but it is like the like inner city kind of version of it. Yeah. Whereas Stand By Me is very like rural town or suburban. Even.
Murder is not.
Yeah.
Like commonplace.
And then in this one, the whole twist is like, you know, when the older kids come over, he's like, yeah, he's dead. Don't fuck with it. Right. Like,
yeah.
Like, and it's just like, it really launches you into the desensitization that exists in that area and kind of what these boys are dealing with growing up.
It takes place in
in
LA, South Central, stuff like that.
Yeah, because you bounce between like there's Crenshaw and there's the scene in Compton, but that's like it's a lot more common there. There's gang shootings, drive-bys.
That's kind of height of Crips and Bloods.
Yeah, and this is we're getting.
Because Ice Cube's a Crip.
We're getting close to the LA riot era and just the the tensions between the LAPD and the young people in LA, especially people from these neighborhoods.
The cops in this movie, like especially the black cop, he's really like he has like this kind of like inner anger.
It's a self-hatred
that he puts, and that's a great scene with like a very tense scene with Cuba when him and Morris get pulled over. And the black cop, I forget the actor's name, puts the gun at Cuba's throat, and you see that like the tear.
Yeah,
it's so good, and it really kind of breaks.
And it's the same
Cuba that because then you lead to more things like he goes to Brandy's house, and he's like flipping out. I'm sick of it. He's swinging into the air. He's sick of it. And then the stuff that happens in the third act breaks him a little bit.
but it's also the same. Like it's the same cop that had that tense standoff with his dad.
Yeah, when he was younger.
When he was younger, and just kind of seeing that, like, I think it's a really interesting choice from John Singleton to use the black cop as that kind of vocal, like, institutionalized racism from the LAPD.
Yeah.
Because that cop doesn't see himself the same as them, even though they have the same skin tone.
Yeah, and that's...
he sees himself as blue, and he has power.
And it's interesting because, like, usually, like, in these kind of, like, these movies, you would portray, usually it's the white cop. That's usually the aggressive one.
And I think it's a deliberate choice to show how the police department as a whole treated that community.
Yeah. There's so many great scenes, like the scene with Larry Fishburne was furious when he shows the older Trey and Ricky the billboard of gentrification. He just starts talking, and you have the older generation and the newer generation kind of like combating a little bit with philosophies and stuff like that, and just like so good of just like how, like, why do you think there's guns in every corner?
Yeah,
why is there liquor? Because they want to kill us. And like, whoa,
it's
whoa, that's even like the next scene, Ricky's in the car with Trey, and he's like, Furious is deep. Yeah, I was like, yeah,
was he a preacher?
Yeah,
no, he just reads books.
Yeah,
but like it's such a, like, this film, it's so good. And there's a reason why it gets, like, parodied and it gets referenced so much. It's so good.
And also the speech at the end with Ice Cube, where he was just like talking about, like, I watched the news and they're talking about this violence in foreign lands. Yeah. Just ignoring.
And he's like, my brother wasn't mentioned once.
Yeah.
And it's such a, like, the movie's just really powerful, and it's just it's so, like, it's such a great film, and it's so, like, it hits you, and it hits you in so many different ways.
There's moments where, like, I think everyone kind of builds, like, there's like this kind of, like, not just the tension between. There's, like, so much, like, kind of, like, tension with, like, of course, there's tension between Doughboy and Ricky, because Ricky's the kind of the golden child, and Doughboy's the one that kind of went to juvie and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Then you have, like, the tension of growing up for Ricky. Like, is he going to be, get the scholarship, the SATs, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Trey, of course, he has, the gangster life, or the life that Furious wants to build for him. And also the whole relationship with, like, he's kind of like, he's a virgin.
Yeah, he's growing up.
He's growing up, and there's the stuff of Brandy, but there's also just the tension with the neighborhood.
Yeah,
because there's moments where Brandy is like she's studying for something, and there's shots, and she gets frustrated. There's constant helicopters.
There's
constant case, even like a kid walking across the street almost getting hit by a car. It's such on edge all the time.
The location is a character, and it just kind of oozes through the screen.
Yeah.
And you kind of feel the heat and the sweat and just the desperation, and, like, you feel the paranoia of these characters that are constantly looking around and seeing, like, who's on the block, who's coming up, who's sneaking up on them. And it just builds such a complex coming of age story with a bunch of complex characters with interesting relationships. You have Brandy and Trey and Doughboy, Trey and Ricky, Trey and Furious.
Trey and his mother, I feel like that the mother aspect, I feel is a little underplayed at times. I feel that's the one thing that's probably a little underplayed. Like, they were trying to put this whole, like, the mother thing in there, but it's like, I don't know.
I think it's
so needed.
I think it's kind of playing with, like, the struggle of single mothers, but she's still, like, his father's still present in his life, which is something
not.
that isn't common for a lot of the boys in that time, you know, whether it is gangs or jail or what have
Drugs.
you, any of that. Like, remember in the early scenes when he's a kid, that's one of the insults he says to the other kid. He's like, at least I know my dad. And and she ships him off to his dad to try and show him how to be a man, how to grow up and be responsible. Because his father, for his faults, is responsible, does care, and you may not like his methods all the time, but he does have the best interests of Trey at heart, and he wants him to do the right things, but he understands the boy's growing up and he's going to make his own decisions. He's going to mess up and he's got to learn from them. Yeah. And when he steps in, it's always at
the turning
critical juncture.
Yeah.
And he tries to do his best, but you know, the boy's going to do what the boy's going to do. And not to mention the complicated relationship with Doughboy, Ricky, and their mother.
Yes.
And how that goes, and their, you know, bond, and kind of the complications of, like, they have two different fathers, you know, one is known, the other one really isn't, and like how one's the black sheep, how one's kind of the golden child, one gets in trouble.
Why'd you hit me? Why did you hit me?
And it's so well, like, it's so well developed with such minimal exposition.
And
and I love how this is such. I would say that this is one of the great morality plays that you could come across, and having Trey dealing with dark side, good side, and then you have Doughboy dealing with it, Ricky like they're all having both the angel and devil on their shoulders.
Ricky, there's an interesting thing where, like, he wants to get a scholarship, but like he has to get the SAT scores, and there's a moment where, like, he just feels down on himself, and he's like, I'm gonna join the army, and I'm just that's a big thing, because people that feel like they don't have a future, they usually see those recruitment videos and thinking, "Oh man, my life's gonna be set."
Well,
but then Trey says the government owns you now.
Yeah,
you're not.
But
you.
There's a depth.
Yeah.
There's a depth to that where it's not just like he's down on the like because he doesn't do well in the SATs, and there's a really small line that Furious says where he's like. He basically talks about how the SATs, you know, one of the things about them is they are kind of biased, and they're biased against, you know, people of their color and people from their neighborhoods. And he's like, hey, like, don't forget, like, they're skewing that against you.
Yeah. And plus the meeting with was it a teacher or just like a college recruiter?
The recruiter for USC.
And then when he mentioned, like, I have a kid, and the recruiter's like, the tone changes.
Yeah.
And that third act is tense. It's horrifying.
And it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, I mean, spoilers, if you don't want to know the spoilers of a 30-some-year-old movie, skip ahead.
It's 35 years.
Yeah. When Ricky gets shot, and it's gruesome,
it's brutal,
and you have Cuba holding him, and when Doughboy shows up to hold him, he's like, watch his head, he's gone.
Careful with him,
he's gone, gone. And they carry him back to the house, they put him in a car, and they carry him back to the house, and the reaction of the mother screaming, it's like gives me like chills down the spine, because it's so curdling kind of scream that just like it's like a shriek. And then they blame Doughboy.
And
out of
it's
anger,
in a grief, but grief. Doughboy, like, he's dealing with it, and he's traumatized, and you know, he's the hardened criminal of the three.
Even though Ricky did start it,
and
but Doughboy escalated it.
Doughboy did, and Doughboy, for as rough as he is and kind of rough around the edges. He's not a bad guy.
No.
And he always, like, he cares about Ricky, even though he's envious of Ricky. He cares about him, and he cares about Trey. And it affects him. And to a certain degree, I think he does feel at fault. Because, I mean, the mother blames him, and he's young. Like, we're dealing with teenagers. These are 17-year-old kids.
Yeah.
And he just doesn't really know that much better. Like, he's one of those, you know, like so many people in the film is a victim of circumstance.
Like, Doughboy doesn't have a Furious.
He doesn't have a Furious
to guide him. And Ricky, his vision is his father who's no longer there because of the whole football situation where it's like his father's football, and Doughboy stood up for him when he was a kid.
Yeah.
And it's just...
And Doughboy being a more streetwise, he's like, don't, like, when they're kids, don't bring the ball.
And there's a great moment. It reminds me of a movie called A Bronx Tale.
Mm-hmm.
Of getting out of the car.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's
great scene.
It's a great scene, like, get me out. And
I
love how
gets it.
Doughboy understood, and even after all the events happen,
he's like,
when Doughboy gets the revenge, he's looking at him and is like, I understand why you did. And I think
he goes, I'm glad you got out of the car.
Because he knows that this is not Trey.
Yeah, and it's that sense of community, and what this movie is able to do is really blend a lot of these common stories into these characters. Like this happens every day.
Yeah. I also love the epilogue where, like, I mean, I don't love it because it's sad, but, like, it's just it's impactful. It's an impactful epilogue where just, like, Doughboy's like, he buried his brother the next day. 2 weeks later, he's murdered.
It was very matter of fact too.
Yeah.
Just like the news doesn't cover his brother. And Ice Cube's great in this film.
Yes.
Cuba Gooding Jr. is great.
Yeah,
Morris Chestnut's great.
Yeah.
Everybody's fantastic.
Larry Fishburne's great in this.
He's fantastic. And everybody's so great. John Singleton's direction obviously is fantastic.
It's not showboaty. It's very
He's showing it.
It's lived in. It feels lived in. He's not doing any super impressive camera tricks.
He's showing how it is.
Slice of life.
And it's just so impactful and it's so fantastic.
There's the moment with, like, they show the test scores and he made it. And
yeah, and it just rips your heart out.
And Ricky was bloody.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, there's implied death.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot of death.
You don't see
someone actually getting killed until Ricky. And you're like, oh my God. And it's very violent, very bloody, very just like...
It's traumatic.
Traumatic.
And I think Ice Cube's so great. Like, Doughboy, the character is fantastic. Trey, the character is fantastic. They're really complex and they're played perfectly. Because, like, even Doughboy, like, I love earlier in the film, the mother being like, Trey, why don't you, like, hang out with, like, Doughboy and try and help him get on the straight and narrow. And it's that, like, little thing where you see Doughboy wants to turn that corner, but he's stuck in the darkness. And Trey almost walks in.
It's like nurture.
He gets out of the car.
It's like nurture versus nature kind of feel.
But it's that whole, like, that's the whole journey of Trey where he wants to get revenge for Ricky and he gets in the car, but he gets out before it gets too dark.
Yeah.
For him.
And it gets dark.
And when Doughboy, he feels trapped and he goes through with it and then he gets out and he finishes the job. He knows his fate's sealed. Yeah. And that's why in that scene, he's like, I haven't gotten up this early in forever. He's like, who knows? They might come smoke me the next week or so. And he knows. He knows it's coming. And he knows that he's gone too far. it's 100% like it's truth.
It's
Even though it's
authentic.
not based on like
It feels authentic.
it's not based on particular stories. It is 100% truth.
Yeah.
You know, like that is how things were. It may be exaggerated. It may at times exaggerate.
Fantasize a little bit.
But a lot of that stuff does happen, and it's localizing in a small group of characters, and you're able to get a lot of stories told. You know, Trey makes it out with Brandy. Ricky gets gunned down too early, and he was a guy who had a golden road set in front of him. He was about to go to USC and possibly make it to the pros. You know, you have Doughboy who's stuck in the gang life and stuck doing all these dark deeds. You have mothers losing children. You have girls trying to make it out without getting pregnant. Girls that do get pregnant young and are stuck there. And dads trying to look out for their kids, but they see everything around them.
And also, let's not forget just this community just dealing with like the encroaching like
oppression,
gentrification, all that stuff. It's
helicopters swirling, LAPD pressure. It's one of the, I think one of the best movies like that tells these stories. Like I would argue it's one of the best American films probably made.
Yeah.
And it's one of the most impactful too.
So I guess the question is, would you recommend it?
Yeah, I 100% would recommend it. John Singleton pretty much doesn't miss. Right. I haven't seen a John Singleton movie that misses. He's incredible, and the performances are fantastic. The writing and story is fantastic. It's really a total package film.
I also recommend it. I definitely think in the future we're going to do Poetic Justice and we're going to do Baby Boy to round out the trilogy because this movie is fantastic.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've never seen it.
There's a reason why it's so well.
And I loved it. And before we record it, my wife was in the other room and she was like, what movie are you doing? I said, Boys in the Hood. And she's like, you better do it justice. I love that movie.
We better do a Poetic Justice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Baby Boy. So that's our thoughts on Boys in the Hood. What's your thoughts on the film? Let us know in the comment section below. What is your favorite John Singleton movie? Yeah. It might not be this one. It might be. It doesn't have to be the Criterion Collection. It can be any movie he's done. Make suggestions for movies we should do. Like, subscribe, and share. Additionally, with movies suggestions, that also includes movies that are coming out in the next few months. Right? Anything they announced on the Criterion Collection. It's coming out in July or whatever. Let us know if you're like, you guys should really do this. I think you'll like it or whatever. We'll check it out.
You didn't suggest movies we hate.
Yeah,
that's fun.
Follow us on Instagram, Condish Productions. Follow us on Letterboxd. Search Criterion Connection. It's the one that has almost 300 movies. We're almost at episode 300, guys. Yeah. Till next time, I'm Wade,
and I'm still Joe.
And we'll see you later.